We've had a big week of racing news with the first Bahrain test completed and the second one coming up. In today's video, we're going to take a look at all the news from last week and what to expect from week 2 of the test. So this is last week in racing, and it's time to bloody talk about it. Before the test had even begun, we got a look at the official map document for the Bahrain Circuit. Now, this document reveals some really interesting things about active aero. So we have the active aero zones, which are basically just all the straights, but what we also get is that active aero will be enabled in wet and low grip conditions. DRS was always disabled in wet weather, so this is really interesting to see that they're keeping it enabled. We also found out that active aero is going to be manually enabled and automatically disabled at the end of a zone. It's a weird, is it an advantage if everyone has that advantage? Unless, of course, they forget to turn it on. Then obviously it's an advantage. As for the actual Bahrain test, over the 3 days we did see a few different winners. Most power units were fairly reliable, only seeing a few breakdowns from the Ferrari and Mercedes power unit. But overall, it was a good test for the teams. Mercedes and Antonelli did miss out on a fair bit of lap time on day 2, as Antonelli couldn't even complete a single lap before the power unit in his W17 had to be completely replaced because of a critical error. We don't know what the critical error is, just that there was one, and Mercedes confirmed that much. They didn't actually tell us what was wrong with it, which I guess makes sense. We had a few other breakdowns from Alpine and Cadillac, but every team struggled with turn 10. Because these cars have so much less downforce, they don't just stick to the track anymore like the ground effect cars. So there was a lot of sliding around. The big winners of the first test were Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari and Red Bull, who all were able to complete a huge amount of laps and clock up some impressive times. Not that that actually means anything in testing. Now let's talk about that practice race start. 7 cars lined up for a practice start and it couldn't have gone worse. Colapinto almost sent it into the wall while going to his grid box, and then 4 out of those 7 cars didn't even get off the line. Colapinto did eventually, and then went into anti-stall and the car had to be recovered. Yeah, it wasn't great from him. Now there were supposed to be changes to the start procedure because these turbos take so long to spool up. But someone, Ferrari, decided to block the changes. Now Andrea Stella is calling for immediate change to the start procedures because it's just unsafe for how long it takes these cars to spool up, and if you're on the grid and you don't move at the start, we could have a crash before turn 1, which would not be ideal. Looking forward to next week, Red Bull, after flexing their straight line speed in the first test, are ready to debut their Australian Grand Prix Aero package at the second test. Previously, Red Bull said they wanted to go in aggressive, and by packing the first race's aero package to get data on it early, I'd say that's pretty aggressive. Now, let's talk about Formula E. I know. Hey, but let's be real, Formula 1's 50% of the way there. Pepe Marti, a rookie driver, got himself into a little bit of hot water when he said some discriminatory language over his team radio, and it was broadcasted live on TV. Let's roll that clip.
Maybe a rookie, but I'm not a and that is a move, however you see it.
Now he did issue an immediate apology post-race, but it has split viewers. Some are saying he's a grown man and he shouldn't be using language like that at all, while the others are siding with Sebastian Vettel, saying that you can't blame a driver for something he said when he's full of adrenaline in the car and on the track. But let me know what your take is in the comments below. Also on Formula E, they threw a bunch of influencers into the Gen 3 Evo cars and had them do a little competition. 1 car on track for safety reasons, and the slowest was eliminated. Honestly, it looked like a blast. Now how do I get in one of those cars? Because I want to have some fun too. That's all for this week in racing. Keep an eye out for shorts on the Bahrain test week 2. And if you don't want to miss those, make sure you're subscribed and you hit that bell. If you'd like to catch me live or you just want to chat, I do have a Twitch and Discord, which are both in the description below.